Hi, my name is Cami, and welcome to Classics and Cats. All right, so today we're going to go over the books that I read in September. So you'll probably see September's video go up, and then you'll see like July, October, August. So, because I still have July and August to do to catch up on, but I wanted to go ahead and do September since it's still relevant, and then I want to do October while it's still when it's relevant. So, yeah, so it's gonna be haywire for a little while, so bear with me, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get caught up. But I want to talk to you about the books that I read in September. I had some good ones, and some are audiobooks, some are short stories, one is a children's book. Yeah, it's just a little bit of mix of everything. So the first one is called Educated by Tara Westover. Now this I listened to on an audiobook, and it's narrated by the author, Tara Westover. And it's about her life in a very strict Mormon family. And it's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching. It's very raw, very real. She wasn't, and basically the premise is that she was not educated. She thought she was getting a homeschool education. Turns out that it wasn't. It was just kind of, her parents, kind of fluffing that. And over time, she kind of learns that what she's getting is not a real education, and she starts to crave the knowledge, and she starts to question their beliefs and the things that they've told her and the way she's been raised. She's also suffering from abuse from an older brother, which that part is probably the hardest to listen to. I think I actually felt sick a couple times. But yeah, if you can get through that, then it's a great read. So I would say, I usually like to say what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. So what I liked about it is that it was narrated by the author. It's her words, her story. So that was really nice. But then also, just her willingness to share so much of her experience. I mean, that's just another level of bravery. So I feel like to give a rating for something like this is just so difficult. So I'm going to give it 5 stars because like I said, her willingness to share and be open about this is just so brave. So 5 stars. If that sounds interesting to you, give it a listen, give it a read. I would mention, trigger warnings for, like I said, a physical abuse. So, if that's upsetting, you might want to steer clear of this. And there is some animal cruelty, one scene of animal cruelty that was really difficult to hear. It's brief, but, it's there. So be warned of that as well. Okay, the next book was called My Big Dog by Janet Stevens. This is the one that I said was a children's book. So what happened is my oldest bonus daughter is a school teacher, and she teaches 1st grade, and for her students, she was trying to find a book to read, and she found this one, and it's a large picture book, but it tells the story of this cat and dog. And this cat is just not happy about this dog that's come into its life. And so the cat's kind of complaining about it throughout the whole story. So I wasn't really sure where it was going to go. And she brought it home for all of us to read because the cat in the story looks just like our cat Mason. So that was really cute. So I read the book, and it was so cute. I was kind of like brought to tears at the end. It was so sweet. So if you have a little one, look for this book to read to them because it's really adorable. 4.5 stars. It's great. And then the next book I read, actually I think I listened to this one as well. It was called A House at the Bottom of a Lake. And that's by Josh Malerman. And it's a somewhat short story, I would say. It takes place, this boy and girl are going on a date, and they go on a date out on a lake in a boat. And while they're on this lake, there's a channel that leads to another lake. So they go to that other lake because it's quieter. But then while they're there, they notice a big tunnel that looks like it connects to another lake. So they go through this tunnel, and when they get there, it's very peaceful, very serene. They decide to stay there and hang out, and they get in and swim. And while they're in the water, they see a house underneath the water. And so they decide to kind of go back and explore it and, get snorkel gear and go in the rooms and see what's in there. So it's kind of a creepy story because they're underwater and, you know, all that that entails. They're in a home, so it's dark and kind of eerie, and they see some things that don't make sense. Like in this home, nothing is floating. Everything sits exactly as it would on dry land. So that in itself, when they first walk in, they know something isn't right about this house. So it's all about their exploration in this home that's underwater and what it all means. So I gave this story 3 stars. It was interesting. It kept me interested the whole time. I couldn't wait to see where it ended and how it ended. But to me, the ending just fell flat. It was one of those where I love a clear answer. I love it when an author just finishes it, like wraps up a story, answers all your questions, because my imagination runs wild. It's like, whoa, what does this mean? What does that mean? What does this mean? So I don't like that. I want the author who's making the story to tell me the whole story. And this one felt like, you know, it has an ending, but it's like, well, what does that mean? Like, how does that ending tie with, you know, the whole story? And, you know, it left a lot open to interpretation, which isn't my favorite. So 3 stars. It was really good. It was captivating read. If you don't mind kind of ambiguous endings, you'd probably really enjoy it. All right, and the next one is a very short story. Again, I listened to this on an audiobook. It was 30 minutes, quick read. It's called The Monkey's Paw by W.W. Jacobs. Yes. So I forget how we started talking about this, but my sister-in-law both listened to it like within a couple days of each other, because we had been talking about it however it got started. But I don't remember that. But we both listened to it, and it was a creepy little read, and I think my daughter listened to it with me. We listened in the car. It was like 30 minutes. So we had a 30-minute car ride. We listened to this audiobook. So again, with this story, it's about this monkey's paw that has a curse on it, and it grants wishes. And each time a wish is granted, you know, its little monkey paw fingers fold or right, one or the other. And, you know, but it's one of those messages, be careful what you wish for. And so the one person is telling his experience with the monkey's paw, but he's kind of trying to warn these people not to make wishes on it, but he's not really being too adamant. But I guess he kind of is. He told them to burn it, but they didn't. They make wishes and start to regret their wishes. So they make the first 2. And then the last one, you know, they're trying to stop, you know, the horrible outcome of what they've wished. And so with this one, again, it's not an open ending per se. You do know what happened, but I guess in my mind, I wanted to know exactly the word phrasing that the character used for his 3rd wish. I mean, I get the gist of what his 3rd wish was, but I wanted to hear like the actual words that he said for it. Is that weird that I want that much detail? But I want it. So yeah, that one was a good one. I gave that one 4 stars. So yeah, I just wanted to know the final wish. I'm greedy. I want to know it all. And then the last book I listened to, I hesitate to even talk about this. I'm kind of embarrassed that I even read it. I know you shouldn't be, you know, with anything that you read, but I kind of am. So I listened to an audiobook. I think all of these were audiobooks. Man. Okay. But I think I was reading a physical copy too. I just hadn't finished it. Maybe that was when I was reading, it doesn't matter. I think I was reading a physical copy of something else that took the whole month. So these are the audiobooks that I listened when I couldn't physically read. Anywho. The last book I read was Down the Rabbit Hole by Holly Madison. And if you're not familiar with who that is, she was one of Hugh Hefner's girlfriends. She was on the famous TV show The Girls Next Door when that was popular, I don't know, back in the early 2000s, I think. So the month prior, I had listened to Jessica Simpson's audiobook called Open Book, and it was fantastic. And I had preconceived notions about Jessica Simpson, and I listened to that book, and it was an eye-opener, and I just felt completely, you know, changed by her experience and what I listened to. So I guess this one came up on my, you know, oh, you might like this. And I was like, yeah, I might. Maybe this would be eye-opening. It was, but not in a good way. So I usually say what I like about a book and what I didn't like about a book. I really didn't like a whole lot about this book, honestly. I guess I liked that there were behind-the-scenes stories, but most of them were depressing and disgusting, so I didn't really love that either. But I would say, so what I didn't like about this book is that the whole thing felt like like a mean girl rant. And I hate to say that. Obviously I don't know this person as, an individual. But just listening to it, it just felt like an opportunity to slam people that had wronged her. And, I think I would have preferred to just see her take the high road and just tell the facts. And I think those facts would have spoken for themselves. But there was a lot of name calling and just belittling. And there was a lot of, um, you know, she did this and it was awful, which I kind of did the same thing, but mine wasn't as bad because, my intentions were different. It was kind of a lot of that, and it wasn't pleasant. It was a lot of negativity, and I just didn't enjoy that. So I think I gave this 2 stars, and even that's generous. I mean, it's probably a 1 star. I'm probably going to go back and edit my rating. I don't think I've really given anything 1 star. Maybe Wicked, because I hated that book. But yeah, so like I said, I hesitate to even talk about it because I feel just gross that I even listened to it. And I will also say trigger warnings for drug use, sexual coercion. I don't remember if there was mention of eating disorders or anything like that. I don't know. The trigger warnings for sure for drug use and sexual coercion. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend to anyone ever. So, yeah, you can scratch that one off your list if you were interested. Unless all those things sound appealing to you, which they probably don't. But anyway, so yeah, so that's everything I read slash listened to in September. I just wanted to get everybody caught up so that I feel more on schedule and productive. So I hope you all enjoy. I hope you're all doing well. Remember, always be kind to yourself as well as others, and always be kind to cats. Thanks. Bye.
No. No.